You're listening to Rock, Pop, and Roll.
Hear this.
Wait a minute.
Hey, pretty baby, are you ready for me? It's your good rockin' daddy down from Tennessee.
It's Rock, Pop, and Roll. Today's episode is the great dig into the catalog. What he means, the great Steve Earle.
Just out awesome by San Antonio with the radio blasting and the bird dog on.
You into Steve Earle? Man, back in the 80s, I followed along.
I'm such a tease, it's awful.
It's such a travel, it's a river of influences and rock and roll and country and some surprises. And we're going to dig into it today on Rock, Pop, and Roll. And I wanted to go with the song that got me into him. A lot of people too. Guitar Town Live. Guitar Town, man. Hey, it's Rob. You doing all right? Recording live today in the studios on the farm just outside of Indianapolis. And Steve Earle, man, I started listening to Steve Earle back in the 80s when I was into what Bruce Springsteen was doing, because it was, mid 80s, and Born in the USA had come out, and I'd gone to that show, and it changed my musical life, because I found a guy in Bruce who melded the lyrics with rock and roll. And before Springsteen, I think I was more into, a little more bubblegum stuff, or some of the 70s bands and rock and roll that maybe some of it wasn't as well written as well written. What's well written mean? Wasn't as precise as what Bruce Springsteen was doing. Wasn't as, didn't resonate as much as the music of Springsteen. Because after Born in the USA, I remember going to some used record stores, buying some vinyl, and I bought Darkness on the Edge of Town and listened to it a lot. And so that was my second Springsteen album. I think I got Wild Innocent in the E Street Shuffle, the one with Rosalita on it. Then I just started buying vinyl albums of Bruce. But about that time was when Steve Earle, a little bit after that, between Born in the USA and Bruce's next studio album, Tunnel of Love, that came out in 87, he did have, in late 86, the live album, Live 75 to 85. But that's where Steve Earle jumped in and released his Guitar Town album, which went number one on the country charts. And I didn't realize that until I was writing and thinking about this podcast. But that Guitar Town album, it was country, but it wasn't country like country was. And that's where Steve Earle jumped in and changed country music. One of those guys.
There ain't a lot that you can do in this town. You drive down to the lake and then you turn back around.
One of my favorites from that Guitar Town album is Someday.
You go to school and you learn to read and write.
He wrote a song later, Hardcore Troubadour, that name-checked Springsteen late in the song, almost on the play out. I'll play it for you in a minute.
Now I work at the filling station on the interstate.
But Steve Earle's he's maybe the architect or one of the guys who built the alt country scene, you know, the Uncle Tupelos and all the bands that came around after that in the 90s, all the way up to Reckless Kelly and beyond. But he was a gap bridger between that, what the Nashville country sound was, and then some of the grittiness, because he hung out with guys like Townes Van Zandt and Guy Clarke, and before he was a recording artist, before he had albums, he was writing for other people. And he was sitting around, there's a famous video where he's sitting around with Guy Clarke, and I think Rodney Crowell is there, like on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, and they're just sitting around smoking cigarettes, drinking whiskey, and playing their acoustic guitars. Steve was the young kid. But then he had his breakthrough with the 86 album, Guitar Town. Had a hit with Hillbilly Highway. It was a country hit. This is that. And we're going to look at Steve Earle all the way up to today.
My granddad was a miner, but he finally saw the
This was his first top 40 country hit. Went to just to number 37. And I can see why it was a hit, because it was country enough for country radio at the time. It wasn't too rock and roll, and he was still too rock and roll for country. But this fit that template well enough that he got on the radio. And then he released Guitar Town, and Guitar Town was a top 10 single. Went to number 7 on the country charts. And then that Someday that we played is also a top 30 hit. He had one more to hit off of this album. This is a debut album. So he had four singles. The country radio was playing him. Goodbye's all we got left. You remember any of these? Were you there?
I can tell you when I woke up this morning.
I mean, this was top 10 on the country radio.
'Cause I can smell it when a heartache's coming.
Get to a chorus for you.
Doing it good in a way. Goodbye is all we got left to say.
Steve Earle. So I was into it, and then he had his second album led off with this. And this album, I listened to it this week in the car, driving back from work. And every time I would listen to that, well, there's Springsteen there. Oh, I hear Springsteen in that. And that's what Exit Zero was. Steve Earle and the Dukes. So his band was credited. But this is the album in 87. You know, he had Townes Van Zandt, he had Guy Clarke, and he had Jerry Jeff Walker and all those guys that he loved. But this was his, I think this was his love letter to what Springsteen was doing, and he saw what Bruce was doing with his music and with his songs and his songwriting and his lyrics and his activism. His activism. It's a key word with Steve Earle. So we'll go through his catalog, and I got some songs we put together. I love this Exit Zero album. Steve's from San Antonio. It's a fun song, San Antonio Girl, off of that album. Or Dougie Sam kind of sound. It's a little Tex-Mex. San Antonio, right?
Since I first saw you, I've been thinking about you.
San Antonio Girl.
I can see you up in New York City now.
Let's get a chorus for you.
Be my San Antonio girl.
So activism and politically, Steve Earle's he's unapologetic in what he believes, and get rid of the death penalty, take care of people, the mold of politics, and he writes about that unapologetically. He was at Farm Aid. I remember he played this I don't know, it was one of the first farm aides came out and said, you know, this is my farm aide. This is the one to the farmers. I felt bad about being here. Not sure I deserve to be, paraphrasing. But this is my song for today. The rain came down.
The old man loaded up everything, let it hold on the wagon and headed out west. The old woman fearless face.
And you can hear him melding that rock and that country. And so these were the first two albums, Guitar Town and this one. You know, if you don't know them, if you don't know these albums, go. You deserve, you deserve to know these for your musical soul, for what you have in your bank. Just a good album, really good album. Car songs. Springsteen.
I'm a pretty big man around this town. I got me the hottest little Chevy around, my sweet little 66.
There you go. So those are the first two albums, and I was deeply into it. And I don't know how many, you know, there was country fans, and he was out there. He was playing. He outgrew the country stuff. Or he didn't care to stay in that lane because he released the album Copperhead Road, and that took him over to the rock and roll side. And not a lot of country artists went rock successfully, and he did. And this song gets played by every bar band. Every bar band that's any kind of country rock band, right?
Well, my name's John Lee Pettimore.
But think about the artist creating it. Not even thinking about all the bands that play good or BS versions of it.
You hardly ever saw Granddaddy down
This was the turn he made. And rock, it got played at rock radio stations. A country guy on rock radio. I mean, that shit didn't happen. Johnny Cash, that didn't happen. Rock radio in the 80s. Playing a country artist, not a lot. But they latched on this. It was a number 10 song on rock radio. Number 10 on those charts. He had another one off that album that was a top 20 song on rock radio. So people remember listening to rock radio, AOR, and all those stations that were so great in the 80s and early 90s. That would play new music from current artists. This was the second single off that album called Back to the Wall. Rock. Thumping. Snare drum.
Sometimes in the evening I start to get that feeling like I'm empty inside.
But the guitars come in.
'Cause you got no place to fall when you're back to the wall.
You remember the song A Devil's Right Hand? Bob Seger did a version of this on one of his final albums.
Time of day to live to fight the big war. Saw my first pistol in the general store.
The reviews for Copperhead Road, I remember listening to it on a cassette in my car and just driving, loving it. And I love side one of this album. It had Copperhead Road, had snake oil on it. Back to the Wall, Devil's Right Hand, and a song called Johnny Come Lately. I always thought Steve was, I thought he was into the Chemicals a little bit because he would talk about the echo in his headphones.
Well, I like that echo. It goes right through my head. It's like, I had that happen once, but chemically induced.
1, 2,
But they get after it.
4.
So those are three, the three albums that defined his early career. And then Steve was having some issues with some drugs, and he ended up going to prison for a little bit. Not before he had a couple of other albums out. After Copperhead Road, he had an album called The Hard Way.
I woke up this morning.
This is that album. And this was the song that got played. It was a top 40 rock radio song. So they were still playing it. The early career of Steve Earle, defined by, working class, Vietnam era storytelling, some guitar, rock and roll, moving away from country to rock and roll, trying to hang on. I saw him he opened for Bob Dylan in 1990. I saw him at Deer Creek here in Indianapolis, the outdoor amphitheater. And Dylan was not, he was all right. Steve Earle and the Dukes were bombastic that day. Came out, the sun's still out. And we're sitting, I think I had a pavilion seat for that. Rarely was I in the pavilion for a show. It was mostly in the lawn. But they were loud and aggressive and didn't give a shit kind of attitude. It was the tour for this album.
Man, what the hell are you thinking about?
This album was where he took a turn to the politics, justice in Ontario. This song.
Or half turned and you always hear how much we love. But the man laid dead in a portable bar and the blood ran red.
Specifics in his anger. Famously, a song called Billy Austin about a death row inmate. I listened to it this weekend, that drive. Sings it from first person in his last hour of life. It's pretty strong.
My name is Billy Austin. I'm 29 years old. I was born in Oklahoma.
It's a long song. It's like 7 minutes long, but it's worth a listen. And he's part. His music is part protest, part heartland rock, some outlaw country. And he didn't get himself boxed in, to his credit and detriment, though it's all worked out in the end. But The Hard Way, this album was, a little darker, and not accepted as a hit. But I go back and listen to it, and I find that it's not my favorite album. And he was probably struggling at the time, because he went to prison not long after that. He did have a live album that we played Guitar Town off of that I really liked. Shut Up and Die Like an Aviator.
I'm sure y'all heard some stuff about me going over to Oka, and I'll tell you what that's all about. I saw people throwing rocks at Indians wearing my T-shirts. And I saw Indians wearing my T-shirts, and I started thinking about this. Wait a minute, what's wrong with this picture? And the deal is that make sure you got all the facts. Don't believe everything you read in the newspapers, especially nowadays, because they ain't watching out for you like they used to. We're going to give you one to put it between the ditches by. We want you to be careful. Especially the brothers, you know who you are, because as a brother in Kingston once told me, just because you ain't paranoid don't mean they ain't out to get you. Good night.
I'm going to cover the Rolling Stones off that album. I liked it. I liked this cover. He does a lot of covers. I've pulled a few for us to listen to as we go through some of the stuff that I like from Steve Earle, and that's the beginning of Steve, his raw honesty and his edginess coming about, and I really like that he tells his version of the truth in music, in his music. It's rock, pop, and roll. Thanks for being with us today as we continue. The music of Steve Earle.
When you're sitting there in your silk upholstered,
I mean, his catalog is worth digging into because there's some gems, there's some stuff in his catalog that like when I do this podcast, man, it's a revelation sometimes, or it's enlightening to me because I'm a lifelong music fan. 40, 50 years of just listening, going all the way back to having 45s on the turntable, to having 8 tracks, to listening to all the radio stations and putting a cassette player in and trying to capture the songs that were being played, hoping the DJ wouldn't talk over them, to having the cassettes in my car and driving around with a beer between my legs, listening to that Nebraska, listening to the Bodines, the Del Fuegos, Jay Giles Band, to working into radio, having a little career there, trying to be a bit of a tastemaker. I remember my early career in my 20s. I would program a radio station with a team of cool dudes, man. And we would try to turn listeners on to music that they didn't know, but they would love, we thought, if they heard that music. I still believe that. I still believe there's a place for that. Curating a playlist, not too odd, keeping it familiar enough that you like it. Some familiarity blended with some surprises. My great friend Kent Sterling, who was a program director at the Emma's Communication radio stations that I worked at for 10 years when I was doing the digital side, the website stuff on that side. Kent was a program director. And he always said, the job of a radio station or a DJ is 2 things: to surprise and delight. And I latched on to that. I still believe that. Thanks, Kent. That's a great lesson. Surprise the listeners, but delight the listeners. How do you do that? That's a bit of an art. It is. Steve Earle surprised and delighted. And some of it was tough, and sometimes you had to listen to the song and listen again, and it's not easy. You know, you want the instant gratification, that dopamine rush, real quickly. Sometimes you gotta listen more than, you gotta make a little bit of an effort. This is that Dead Flowers. I like that. He did an album with Del McCoury Band, went bluegrass. As we go through the songs of Steve Earle that you might want to know, we're just gonna go boom, boom, boom and tell you a little bit about all of this. But he made a bluegrass album called The Mountain. This is the title cut.
I was born on this man long time ago.
Steve Earle, here's what I give him credit for: following his muse, doing what he wanted to do.
1, 2, 3, 5.
And it wasn't always, he wasn't always trying to go left field. I mean, listen to this, Another Town. This is off an album called Transcendental Blues from 2000. But it harkens back to his early days. Because we talked in a recent episode about how, you know, when we listen to new music from an artist we love, we like to hear a little touch of his old or her old sound. Steve did that. Told you he went to prison for a while, so he was gone for 4 or 5 years. Came out with an acoustic album called Train A-Comin'. This is a piece off of that.
Her out tonight, and she tells you it's just
his re-entry into the world of music. And I bought this album. I remember buying the CD
That's what she said.
and not loving it, but being glad that Steve was back and hoping that he could come back and do something that
If she tells
was rock and roll. And he eventually did in 96. This is what I feel is his comeback album. I Feel Alright. This is the name of the album. This is the title cut. This is where I said, yeah, Steve's
out
back.
from my papa's son wandering out a smoking gun. Now some of you would live through me, then lock me up and throw away the key.
And then we'll get into the songs now where you may not know them and they weren't hits, but he just has kept, he puts albums out year after year after year. This was a defiant, joyful album.
I feel alright tonight. I feel alright.
The single off of it was this, More Than I Can Do. Although he wasn't going to be a hit maker anymore. Doesn't mean you can't release good stuff.
I'm trying hard to let you go, but it's more than I can do.
And we referenced Hardcore Troubadour. This is that song. Kind of a trademark song for him. Talks about the guy who, that's what he does, man. He plays guitar.
Don't bother and lock your door. It's out there hollering, darling, don't you love me no more? You always let him in before, now didn't you? He's just singing the same old song that he always sang before. He's the last of the hardcore troubadours.
And this was the song that I told you he referenced Springsteen near the end of it. I want you to hear the lyric about Rosalita.
Baby, what you waiting for? He's the last of the all-night do-right. Hey, Rosalita, won't you come out tonight? He's the last of the hardcore troubadours.
Made me smile when I heard that this week as I was listening to music, getting ready to do the podcast. There's a little love line to Bruce. It's Rock, Pop, and Roll. I'm Rob. Glad you're listening. If you want to hear any of the old podcast, Rock, Pop, Roll, rockpopandroll.com. Let me get it right. Rockpopandroll.com is where you find all those old episodes that we've done. We're getting close to, I don't know where we are. Close to 80 episodes. Who knew that we'd ever get here? But if you want to go find some of the good, the bad, and the ugly that we've done with Rock, Pop, and Roll, you can. If you want to get a hold of me, if you want to get in contact, rockpoprollpodcast@gmail.com is the email that comes right to me. It comes right to my iPhone. rockpoprollpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, everybody who has, everybody who tells somebody else about what we do. You never know what you're going to find on the Rock, Pop, and Roll. I never know. I put it together. And that's what I talked to somebody this week about creativity, about having to, okay, you got an idea. I'll be quick about this, but I want to tell you this story real quickly. You have an idea and you want to do it. And so you start. It's like, all right, let's start doing this. And the first part of what you do when you start, you're like, this is crap. This isn't good. Where's this going to go? But then you start to add to it and subtract from it, create this thing that gets better as you work on it. And you get to a point, I get to a point, if I'm editing a video, or if I'm putting a podcast together, I get to a point where I'm like, oh, here's where we're going. Here's where the magic is. I didn't know where it was going to be. Somehow, we get to a place where I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. Or that's not what I expected. And that's part of the magic. That's what I like. It's not what I expected, but here's where we are. Do something, and it's going to be ugly in the beginning. But if you hang with it and you keep working on it, I don't care what it is, building a doghouse. Whatever you're doing, it's tough. And then it gets better. Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep doing the right thing and keep going. 1997 album El Corazon, Taney Town. So Steve's putting together some albums. He did that bluegrass album, the Transcendental Blues album from 2000. He had a great song called Galway Girl. American writing about Ireland.
I took a stroll on the old long walk of the day. I met a little girl and we stopped to talk of a fine soft day. And I asked your friend, what's a fella to do? 'Cause her hair is black and her eyes are blue.
Galway Girl. Steve does a lot of great covers. Lowell George, Little Feat, Willin'.
I'm still willing. Out on the road late last night.
Steve's funny, man, because he slurs his words just in a Steve Earle way. Slides them all together. Maybe you don't like that. Maybe you like the tight pronunciation. I like it when I gotta listen hard.
I've driven every kind of rig that's ever been made.
And I like Willin'. Oh, I do.
I've driven the back road so I wouldn't get wet. If you give me weed, white sand wine.
One of my favorites. He did a cover. This is an album called Sidetracks. He did a cover of Time Has Come Today.
All trials in America are political trials. And when you go into jail, you see that. Because you see that 90% of the people in jail are black. That's what you see. You see that 90% of the
Old
people
60s political tune. Updated. I think I did this podcast because I feel like a lot of us, we know just that core song catalog. We know those 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or however many songs there are that get played all the time or that we go back and listen to all the time regularly. And Steve's catalog is deep, and I felt like, man, just for myself, if for nobody but myself, let's do this podcast and let's revisit some of the songs and some of the themes.
Just an American boy.
And how Steve kind of ruffles some feathers every now and then. John Walker's Blues, about American. This one, an American who was with the Taliban back in 20-some years ago, from his perspective, from this kid's perspective. And he got beat up with about this song. Because Steve it's tough to write from the first person. You're not, you embody the person that you're singing about. It's not you. It's not the artist. And that's a tough, I think that's a tough thing for a lot of people to differentiate. Is it the artist reporting and singing about this person, or is it the artist writing as the person? Those are two different things.
I believe God is great.
John Walker's Blues off the Jerusalem album. Also off that album was a song called America with a K, version 6.0, The Best We Can Do. It's political music, and we need that in art. We need that view. We need the voice. We need the voice. If it's not your opinion, that's all right. But art and artists, that's what they do. In my opinion. I mean, you can have your own opinion of all this stuff. You can think somebody is a lefty or a righty or a whatever-y. But I believe artists play an important role in what you see and what you hear and what you feel in the commentary. And you gotta, they teach you back in school that you need to check all your resources and where's this coming from and what's there. Why are they writing or why are they saying what they do? And do they want you to think a certain way? And are they trying to indoctrinate you in one way or another? Is it too much to say, hey, we need artists to call bullshit on some stuff? I'm okay with that. I think it's important that we have the artists who believe what they believe. Even if it's not what I believe, it's my job to figure out what I believe. But I can take the information in.
As I walk through this wiki world.
Steve doing a cover of Elvis Costello or Nick. It's actually a Nick Lowe song. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding?
Ask myself, is our hope lost?
Rock, pop, and roll. As we let's get to the chorus of this, because we can't play it without hearing the chorus. Here we go. Come on.
Every time I get to feel this way, one thing I want to know. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding?
Steve Earle on Rock, Pop, and Roll. We told you the Springsteen lineage. The Steve listened to Bruce and his live from Austin. This was recorded back on Austin City Limits back in 1986. And he actually does there's a recorded version of this, but this is the live version of the Nebraska track, State Trooper.
Mr. State Trooper, please don't just stop me. Well, please don't just stop me. Well, please don't just stop me.
And Steve does a great job of giving his heroes a little bit of homage throughout his career. He does that regularly. Also off of that album was the live version of Guitar Town. Yeah, go find this one. It's an early career live Steve Earle and the Dukes.
Are you ready for me? Get your good rockin' daddy down from Tennessee.
Does recorded in Austin in 86. He has an album that he recorded in Austin in 2000 where he turns the electrics up on that Someday song. Find the lives, find the covers, and then just dig a little more deeply than you'd want to. And I think you'll find something with Steve Earle. Because you might like the covers. You might like the live stuff. You might like his early. You might like the political stuff. You might like the love songs. I think if you look back on his career, the addictions, the politics, the storytelling, the damaged lives, the compassion. I think it's all there. It's rock, pop, and roll. Steve did some, he did 3 or 4, I think 4 albums of music of other people. Townes Van Zandt was one of those albums. He did just an album called Towns. This was back in 2009.
On the road, my friend, it's gonna keep you free and clean. Now you wear your skin like iron and your breath's as hard as kerosene. What your mama's only boy, but her favorite one, it seems. She began to cry when you said goodbye. Sank into your dreams.
Pancho and Lefty, Willie Nelson.
Pancho's a bandit boys.
Willie Nelson does a version.
Polished steel.
He did an album dedicated to Guy Clarke, one of Guy's great tunes. Jerry Jeff did a cover of this too. LA Freeway. Take a little piece of this as we go through the albums that he dedicated to others.
Pack up all your dishes. Make note of all good wishes. Say goodbye to the landlord for me. Some bitches always bored me. Throw out the old LA papers. Motorbikes of vanilla wafers. Adios to all this.
Let me get to the chorus.
Some land. I ain't bought in this. Yes to you, oh skinny.
See if I can find it for you.
Don't you think it's time we're leaving? If I can just get off of this LA freeway without getting killed the car, I'll be down the road in a cloud of smoke to some land. I ain't
That's LA Freeway. I told you Jerry Jeff had covered that.
Hi, buckaroos. Steve Earle again. Trying the best to be Jerry Jeff Walker once more.
From the Jerry Jeff album.
Don't ask me, I did it.
The great Austin Troubadours that
Just did it like
influenced guys like Todd Snyder deeply.
Twice before.
Jerry Jeff Walker. You know Jerry Jeff wrote the modern day classic, Mr. Bojangles, Steve Earle version.
Never mind Bojangles and dance for you. One I choose.
And then the fourth of those albums, Steve recorded an album called JT. Justin Townes Earle was his son who died tragically early in his life, but was an artist, a musician. This is one of JT's songs called Harlem River Blues, done by his dad.
But I'm going uptown to the Harlem River to drown. Dirty water gonna cover me over. I'm gonna make a sound. I'm on the road, mama, I gotta go. Gotta get there while I still can. Troubled days are behind me now. I know they're gonna let me in. You see me walk.
It's an album of his son's songs, recorded after his Justin Townes Earle had died. It's Rock, Pop, and Roll 2020. Steve did an album about West Virginia and coal miners. This is a track called Black Lung. I mean, diving deep into people's stories.
Slicing through the frost like a red hot knife. Sometimes I'm dreaming I'm running across, but who couldn't not have saved my life? Hound dog yipping in the holler.
I mean, just niche stuff. Sometimes, I mean, he's not trying to, it's not all about love and heartbreak and in the traditional sense, but is deeply felt, I think. And from a place that he's doing it because he wants to. Again, back to the artist. Do what you want and make it as best you can, and then whoever likes it, likes it. Rock, Pop, and Roll. Thank you for listening as we just skimmed the surface, really, of Steve Earle and what he's done. That Ghosts of West Virginia was his most recent album, 2020. He's got an album called Alone Again Live. But I think at the end of a project, the end of a day, when you're done and you say, stop, let's release this bird to the world. You should know, it's pretty good. And if it's not, maybe you don't let it out. Or maybe you do let it out and it's imperfect. Art art, music, painting, writing, the art of living, doing the right thing. There you go. Thanks for listening. I'm going to get out of here with three. Thank you so much for being a loyal listener, a first-time listener. Whoever you might be. Yeah, thank you. Let somebody else know about Rock, Pop, and Roll. We're going to keep doing what we do because it's fun. I learned something, and I like talking to you guys. Out of here with... these are recent. These are all singles that he's released in the last couple of years. This is the I Fought the Law. Yeah. Written by the great Sonny Curtis, who passed away in 2025, a member of Buddy Holly's band, Bobby Fuller 4. Had the hit with it. But seems like it's means something to Steve. And then he also recorded with a band called Reckless Kelly. I always thought Reckless Kelly, I think they're a Texas band, always sounded like 90% of their stuff sounded like Steve Earle. Well, Steve and Reckless Kelly put this single out called Bad Girls in 2025.
Where did all the bad girls go? There's gotta be another couple out there. Sugar's alright, but a little bit of spice would be nice. Where did all the wild ones go? Kinda like to steal the show. Make you feel like the first in line, but the last to know. I ain't looking for just my type.
Fun to hear Steve and this band together with some great 2025 production and just rocking. A little steel guitar. So go find it. You can find it. I found it on, I have Spotify, but you can find it in a lot of places. Bad Girls. And to get us out of here, thank you for listening. Be safe. Be good to each other. And always be kind. We'll talk to you next time on Rock, Pop, and Roll.
Everyone talks about rock these days. The problem is, they forget about the roll. This is Rock, Pop, and Roll. Thank you. Good night. This is Rock, Pop, and Roll.